Well, we've got some messages from Charles, so let's go ahead and see what he has to say.
Hey, Charles McFarland, got a podcasting. And Joe, you had me watch Yu Hakusho and the live action version on Netflix. I'd never seen the anime, and you were worried that because they mashed together storylines, you wanted to know if we would miss something. I'm going to say I just found it to be a generic anime. Honestly, most of it I just didn't care about. I did see some scenes previously on TikTok, so I was excited about that because the scene at the very beginning of the first episode where the god lady, the death lady, whatever she is, pops out of nothingness to talk to his spirit. That was cool. I had seen that on TikTok, so I thought, oh, okay, get me interested. And then the junkyard scene with the bad version of the Red Hulk, the Wish Red Hulk, that was okay. I'd seen that one on TikTok. Bobby, honest, most of the progression felt like the long versions of the story. And I'm going to have to do a part two. So I'm going to do part two after this. But if that makes sense, it's like you got some of the building between the main character and the blonde friend, and you got some of the learning how to fight, and that stuff made sense. But there just didn't feel like much of a connection with any of the characters. So I guess I could have used a deeper background on some of these characters to care, to give a crap, I guess is what I'm struggling with. Part two coming up.
Yeah, so Steven, for your reference, because I doubt you've seen Yu Hakusho on Netflix.
Oh, no, I'm way well versed in it. Encyclopedic knowledge, as a matter of fact.
Wikipedic knowledge, maybe.
The live action version took 2 seasons of the anime and put it into 5 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, and they mixed and matched, like they took snippets from this season, blended it together, and
like a clip show. You know, just the hot points. Yeah, all right.
So, whereas the anime I've watched 3 times all the way through, so I like the anime. So,
all right. Well, Yu Hakusho.
Yes.
All right.
It's an older anime. I don't know if there's anywhere to watch it. Last time I watched it, I found someone had posted the episodes on YouTube.
Yeah,
that was the last time I had watched it. But
I've found that some older shows they're like mirrored on Daily Motion, and by mirrored I mean they're literally like flipped so all the text is the wrong direction. That gets them past the old copyright detection.
Or they speed up the audio a little bit to try to avoid it as well, and
things are just a little desynced.
So do we know if Charles was familiar with the anime or not? I couldn't remember.
He was not familiar. That's why he was coming in. Yeah. So it looks like the only places that have all 4 seasons are, well, soon to be Crunchyroll because they're absorbing Funimation. Tubi.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, Tubi's free, right? With ads?
I think so.
With ads, yeah.
So all 4 seasons are on Tubi, and then 2 of the seasons are on Hulu.
Yeah, the first two seasons are on Hulu.
Oh, all right.
So, I mean, the second season is probably the best season out of all 4 seasons. So, watching the first 2 seasons, you're going to get the best of Yu Hakusho.
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see what part 2 has to bring us.
All right, part 2 here. So you have your 2 female characters, or 3 really, but the god lady, death lady, whatever, doesn't really count. You had the god dude with the pacifier the whole time. It felt like a really bad version of Zordon, I think was the name from Power Rangers. It was a connective tissue, but it was kind of irrelevant, other than resurrecting Yusho, or whatever his name was.
Yusuke.
I tell you, the fight scenes were fun. Him learning how to use the powers was fun. Them training, that episode was fun with the white-haired friend and the main character. But the girls were always just damsels in distress and had no real point. And the swordsman just kind of showed up, just kind of didn't. It was kind of interesting, but kind of not. And he was overplayed with the sulky, sullen mystery man aspect. The red demon, he was the most interesting out of everybody with his story of tricking the lady and then, so on and so forth. But the sacrifice of half a life didn't seem to matter to the story at all, had no real effect on the characters or the progression of the powers or anything like that. So some of it was shallow. I've got one more part coming just to wrap up the final episode, and I'll do that now.
Yeah, so, I mean, when you cram 2 seasons into 5 episodes, you're going to have to cut, like, all of the character development, which is what they did.
I mean, it sounds like he liked it.
Still don't know what it's about because Charles is a master at describing things, but
yeah.
So
you sure you needed a third host on the show? Like, I mean, his call-ins is really taking up a lot of the meat. I could have. Oh
man. Yeah. So Yusuke Urameshi dies in the first episode of either one.
Spoilers.
And he is given a deal where he can come back to life if he agrees to be a spirit detective. So he handles issues for the spirit realm when he needs to, and usually that is it takes on the form of fighting demons who have escaped from the demon world and are wreaking havoc on the human world. So all right.
So in this case, Spirit World are the good guys?
Yes.
Okay.
So like Spirit World is like heaven type of thing.
Okay. But you can't say heaven for copyright reasons.
Well, but it's not entirely heaven.
Moses will come down and just tell you, wait, hold on.
I guess Spirit World they control the afterlife. And then there's the human world and the demon world that are separated, although they used to be connected. But the spirit world separated them.
Okay.
So,
yeah, got it.
Okay. Yep.
Clear as mud. And
the just like Earth, I totally same thing.
The death lady that he keeps referencing, her name is Botan, and she's a blue-haired lady who refers to herself as the Grim Reaper. So, she ferrets spirits from the human world to the spirit world. So
okay. Ferryman. Got it.
Yeah.
Caught up. Yep.
Except she rides on a broom.
The old Flying Dutchman. All right. Well, everybody's got to have their mode of transportation.
Right. Yep. Otherwise, all mythology would be the same. And where's the fun in that?
Yeah, that'd be boring.
And the best part is he's making fun of the god guy who has a pacifier. The live action shows him in his adult form the entire time, whereas in the anime, he's in toddler form almost the entire time. And so he's this talking toddler with a pacifier in his mouth
Wait, so the adult dude has a pacifier too?
Yeah, when he turns into his adult form, he still has his pacifier in his mouth in the anime.
Oh, I'm talking about in the live action.
Yeah, so there is no baby form in the live action. Right. He's only the adult form, and he has the pacifier, yes.
I've seen Stranger Things. Look, don't kink shame Kurt. It's fine. If that's what he likes, you let him do it.
I mean, relatively mild spoiler alert for the anime, because it has no payoff in the live action. He is constantly siphoning off his energy and storing it in the pacifier.
Okay.
And so it becomes a MacGuffin for a brief moment when he uses all that stored up energy to accomplish something.
There wasn't a different object he could be siphoning that energy into that was less weird.
Nope.
Okay. Just want to make sure we went through all the ideas first before we
Kawinma. Yeah, his name's Kawinma. All right, now to part 3.
All right.
So, Joe, you may have figured out that I just finished episode 5, and I want to record my thoughts on Yu Yu Hakusho. Again, generic, kind of lightweight. Some of it was interesting. A lot of it just was kind of drug out and boring, to be honest. And there just wasn't any real connection with any of the characters. The final episode, that was actually solid to me for the most part until the final wrap up. The battles were good. The betrayals were good. The whole work your way through this betting thing that turned out to be nothing, really. I mean, the whole betting and the Japanese gangster that was losing everything and sweating, and he just didn't. He was so irrelevant so irrelevant to the whole story in this show. The whole thing with the tears, okay. It just was irrelevant. I mean, I get it. It's kind of tracking to the sister or whatever, but yeah. But the hand waving at the end is what bothered me the most. Okay, so we finished the battle. He wins. Really cool scene. And then they settled the bet, and all of a sudden the yokai just go back to hell or whatever. Why did dude shoot himself? I don't understand that part. Just because he lost finally? I don't know. And then just the wrap up of, we say this line and that wrapped up that storyline. And we say this line and that wrapped up that storyline. There's a lot of throwaway wrap ups at the end that I could have just done without. You could have ended.
No, he could have ended his talk. Apparently,
but Charles's ending was a throwaway. Got it.
Yeah. So, big spoilers, I guess, because that's where Charles is going with it. The main character in the last episode bet his life on the outcome of the final fight, and so he lived up to his word. Like, betting is core to his character, and so he bet his life, so his life is forfeit. So
all right. that was a journey. It was in 3 acts there. Act 1, 2, and 3. You got the whole deal.
Yeah. So because the live action combined the final fight from season 1 with the final fight from season 2. And so that's partly why it was so confusing for Charles right there, because the whole betting, the guy that he mentioned, the whole betting guy, that's part of season 1. And whereas a lot of the fight took other than the scenery, most of the fight took its inspiration from season 2. So yeah, they were just melding the 2 season finales.
Got it.
But yeah. Like I said, I really like the anime. If you only watch the first 2 seasons, you're getting the best part of it. So if that's if you choose to watch it, but yeah, it's pretty good.